So you have an accepted offer on a property in New York State, or New York City. And what exactly does that mean? What it means is that you have a handshake on a deal. You don't have a legally binding deal, and that's because New York is a lawyer state. The attorneys have to do due diligence on the property and ensure that you're making an investment, in particular with a co-op, because you're buying shares in a corporation. The attorneys have to investigate and do what's known as due diligence on the building to make sure that you are investing in a sound building. With real property, a single family home, you have an inspection. And in New York, the inspection occurs before you sign a contract of sale. If you have an accepted offer and you haven't done your inspection, you haven't signed the contract, you're still not legally bound, which means that the seller could get another buyer that could come along and offer more money, which is perfectly legal, ethical, moral for the most part, and they could end up making a deal with somebody else for more money, or you may have to step up and pay more money to get your property. By the same token, if you're the seller and for whatever reason the buyer gets cold feet, or if they find something out about the building, or if God forbid there's something wrong in the inspection, something major like a foundation issue, the buyer can walk away and not have any legal recourse, and the seller won't have any legal recourse against the buyer. Once you are done with your due diligence or done with your inspection and the attorneys have negotiated the contract, then you enter into a legally binding contract where you put normally 10% down, 10% of the purchase price. Then you're in a legally binding contract, and you can't walk away unless one of the contingencies in the contract are not met, and the seller can't walk away without defaulting. If the buyer defaults, they're putting their 10% contract deposit at risk. If the seller defaults, the buyer could sue them for what's known as specific performance, meaning I'm going to sue you to close on this property. So the bottom line is this: what does it mean when you have an accepted offer? It means that you have a deal on a handshake, but it's certainly not legally binding until both parties sign a contract of sale, and that contract deposit is deposited into the seller's attorney's escrow account.